What do we have here? White oak cross-section. Quercus alba is the scientific name. Wow, what do we have here? We have a line that goes from left to right, separating the darker region from the lighter region. What is that line of cells? It is what? It is the vascular cambium. What's this down here? Secondary xylem or secondary phloem? It is what? The secondary phloem. What's this up here? It is the what? The secondary xylem. Yes, and we see several different kinds of cells in the secondary xylem. Let's take a closer look. First of all, is this the oldest secondary xylem ring or the youngest? Well, it's right up against the vascular cambium, so it must be what? The youngest. But we see several different types of cells in cross-section, and I want you to be able to identify three different types of secondary xylem cells. One might be vessels. Those are hollow pipes. Vessel members, actually, are the individual cells. Are these alive or dead at maturity, by the way, these secondary xylem cells? They are dead at maturity. And so they're connected end to end like pipe sections, and usually fairly large in diameter. And so as we look back at this, it's pretty easy to pick out the vessels. Those are the big guys. The really big guys are for sure are vessels. And but another possibility is tracheids. And so tracheids aren't quite so big in diameter. They aren't open at the ends. They overlap and connect by what means of what? How does water pass from one tracheid to another? Through what are called what? Pit pairs. And so this is a picture from your book, of course. This illustrates a pit pair where what's missing from both sides? The secondary cell wall. If it's a bordered pit, it looks kind of like a donut in cross section. And so we also have this picture from your handout. What do we have? The bottom 2/3 of this is all vessels. Vessels that were formed at different stages. Early vessels formed very early, sometimes continue to stretch a bit, and the secondary cell wall pulls apart, makes them look like slinkies. Big old, but here's some scanning electron microscope pictures. Vessels cut across long. Here's the long way. Big open pipes. Up here at the top, we have both kinds we've talked about so far. And the two on the left are what? Tracheids. The two on the right are vessels. And again, you have a pit pair showing how water gets from one vessel to the next through not one vessel to the next, but one what to the next? One tracheid to the next. That's right. There is one other possibility, and those are fibers. I don't have a nice picture of fibers, but they're usually smallest in diameter, very thick-walled, very tough cells. They are hollow in the middle, but that hollow does not connect to the outside world, so fibers provide strength. Fact is, that's what makes hardwood, is it not? The presence of many fibers. And so, again, as we look at this cross-section, the big guys right off, we can say those are what? Those are vessels, but we need to look closer at some of these others. And oh my goodness, here we are up close and personal, and we have these across here, that's one kind, and then we have these here, which is another kind. And so, which are these right here and right here? Those are what? Those are fibers. Cut across. They're open in the middle, but that opening, the fiber, it's open now because it got cut across, but normally that opening doesn't open to the outside world. Very thick-walled cells, lots of fibers. That's what makes Quercus alba or white oak very tough wood. Hard to get a chainsaw through it. As opposed to these right down here, those are what? Those are tracheids. And so you can actually kind of see the pit pairs as you look down a little ways. They aren't very thick. I mean, it's not a very thick slice, but you can still look down and sort of see some of the pit pairs in the trachea. So, vessels, tracheids, and fibers. What we have in this picture are what? Tracheids and fibers. Which one's the majority? Fibers. Lots of fibers making white oak hardwood or softwood. Hardwood. All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen.